All right, so we're out here at Vector Motorsports, where I work, and Brian is here from Tuner Tools. We finally got this thing strapped down to the dyno, and we're about to finally get this thing dialed in with the new Haltech system, new tile wastegates, PDM setup. So, you know, basically a full new refresh on the car, and time to get it retuned, turn the boost up, and we'll see how much power we make. We have a feeling that our limiting factor on power is going to be our fuel pump. So, not 100% sure we're going to be able to crack the 1,000 horsepower mark with the fuel pump that we have in here, but we're definitely going to hopefully make some good power. So right now Brian's going through and getting the base calibration done on it. So doing like speed dictated load on it and just going through the load ranges at designated speed to try and get it dialed in before we start doing any serious, you know, power pulls or anything like that. Part throttle pull, and we're already almost at 600 wheel and over 600 foot-pounds of torque. So, and we still have another 2,000 RPM to go and a lot more boost. Okay, so on that first pull that we did, part throttle, low revs, boost was a little bit higher than we expected it to be, so we went ahead and made some changes to that. Next pull is probably going to be a lot less horsepower, I'm assuming, because we're turning the boost down. But we're going to go through, tune it up, and then as we go, you know, turn the boost up. So, yeah. All right, so we got boost control working again. So we're back down to gate pressure. So we're only making like 450 horsepower, 475 torque, but that's only revving it to 4,800 RPM, so you know we got plenty of room left there. We're gonna get this thing tuned up on gate pressure as stage 1, turn the boost up a little bit for stage 2, and turn the boost up even more for stage 3, so we'll have 3 different boost settings. So we finished up getting it dialed in at 5 pounds of boost, and we're like the 540 wheel horsepower mark right now at 5 pounds of boost. So we're gonna start turning the boost up on it. We're probably gonna get it around 10, I think, and set that for stage 1 boost control. Stage 2 will probably be somewhere around like 14, 15 pounds. Stage 3 will be up to whenever fuel pump starts falling off, because we think that fuel pump is actually going to be the deciding factor of how high we can actually set the power on this. So not sure we'll be able to crack 1,000 wheel horsepower with the pump we have in here, but we're going to push it and see how far we can go. last pull that we did, we kind of started running out of fuel pump. Fuel pressure started diving off, so ran out of pump a little bit sooner than we thought we would. What was it, like 13, 14 PSI?
Yeah, you're down 13 PSI at the end of the pull.
Yeah, so we're just gonna probably leave it where it's at for now, and once I do, I need to get like a triple pump radium setup or something like that. That way we don't have to worry about fuel pressure falling off. But I mean, we're in the pretty high horsepower range right now.
942 at the crank. Just shy of 1,000.
So we're just shy of 1,000 horsepower right now at the crank. Wheel horsepower, that's like what, 750-ish?
Yeah.
And that's at 14.5 pounds of boost. So unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to turn it up to 22, 23 pounds of boost like we wanted to, but we really could turn it up a little bit more if we wanted to, but we're gonna just stay on the safe side and leave it where it's at for now. And just threw some ice in it, ice it back down, get it nice and cool, and then we're probably gonna do a couple last power pulls here and call it good.
Just waiting for the ECU to connect, so we're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should have set our goals higher. Always set your goals higher. So last pull of the day, we iced up the ice box, dropped temps down about, what, 30 degrees probably in the IAT. So IATs were 80 degrees on the pull, and we ended up making 976 horsepower, 928 foot-pounds of torque. Disclaimer, that is measured in crank horsepower, so convert that over to wheel horsepower, it's about 830 something wheel horsepower. So not bad for only 14 PSI. We definitely wanted to turn it up closer to 20, but running out of fuel pump, so that's where we're leaving it for now. So now load it up and get back home. All right, so we got everything unloaded. Car's pretty good, dialed in. We're making solid power. That Garrett 4508R just spools stupid fast. And you know, we're a little disappointed that we couldn't turn the boost up any higher than we did. We definitely think we would have been able to crack the 1,000 wheel mark if we could turn it up. Some of you guys are probably wondering why we had the dyno set to read engine horsepower instead of wheel horsepower. So I'll kind of explain that to you right now. The night before we went to the dyno, Brian has this spreadsheet of calculating horsepower up from displacement, airflow, volume, IETs. I don't even know what else he has in there. But he was punching numbers into the thing, like, okay, what's your compression? What size engine is this? What heads do you have on it? And he was trying to figure out when we would run out of fuel pump because we knew it was going to be an issue. And it's funny because Brian predicted we would run out of fuel pump at 14 to 15 PSI, and we would be making around 970 horsepower at the crank. His little spreadsheet is only good for crank horsepower. So we set the dyno on to read engine horsepower to see how close it would be, and it was spot on. You know, the dyno read 976 horsepower. We ran out of fuel pump at about 14.8 psi of boost, and I mean, it's just crazy how far some good math can go, that's for sure. But you know, just shy of 1,000 horsepower at the crank. It's about 830 wheel, so still on the low end. So once we get some more fuel pump in this thing, I've been wanting to change over this fuel cell for a while actually, because I do have just a standard aluminum fuel cell in there, and it's a single AEM 405 or 450 liter an hour pump. So I want to swap that out with a proper certified bladdered fuel cell, like a radium setup with like dual 450s or dual 525s in it, and you know, then we'll be able to actually turn the boost up even more. But I mean, stage 1 boost level is set at 10 pounds of boost, and we're making 650 wheel, which is less than we were making at 8.5 pounds of boost last time. But I think the issue was that the HP tuners that we were running on this was telling us we were only running 12 degrees of timing, but we think that was a false reading, and we were probably running a lot more timing than that, because it's the only thing we can think of that actually makes sense. So we're actually safe. It's got a nice conservative safe tune in it right now, and we're going to be really good with that setup, and 850 wheel is plenty. You know, just shy of 1,000 though, so 1,000 at the crank, so still cool. Maybe one day we'll get to hit those 4-digit numbers, and until then, that's going to be it for this one. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow the build along. Until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.